It's 4-color retreat, and both these players 11-1. A win for either one of these players. Lock it up. They're in top 8.
Yep. Luxury of even losing the next 2 should it come to that.
And it looks like Kassis is currently up a game with his 4-color retreat deck, so he's certainly figuring something out. That's for darn sure. Kelley looks like he's going to take a mulligan, not happy with what he has seen with his opening hand. Well, we're going to let Kevin take a moment here as you see these players. Pretty good natured, having a good time here in the feature match area. One thing you can do, if you're not qualified for the Pro Tour in a handful of weekends, you can play in our regional championships, and we're going to let you learn more about that tournament right now.
Don't miss the StarCityGames.com Season 3 Regional Championships. On October 15th, play standard at any of the 15 regionals across the U.S. The first 200 players to register for each event will receive a Wings of Glass playmat and token just for signing up. Regional championships are now part of the SCG Tour with SCG points for all players. Top 8 competitors earn a trophy, a share of $5,000, and a spot in an upcoming SCG Invitational. Visit go.starcitygames.com/regionals to learn more.
Should be a good time to play some standard October 15th weekend over the course of the Pro Tour. Obviously, brand new format. And really, Patrick, is there a better time for Magic when a big set rotates out, new set rotates in?
The constructed pre-release.
So awesome. And Kaladesh is killing it right now. These cards are so cool. I'm really excited to actually play with them in 2 weeks.
Also really like that now we've officially cleaned up the block structure. There was a little bit of an awkwardness with the rotation there because there was a 3-set block and a core set. Now they were willing to pay that cost of the awkwardness for a little while. I think it was correct. And now we just have these clean blocks going forward.
Yep. Well, you know what? Good riddance, Collective Company. Good riddance, Jamoka's Command.
Yeah, and those are an interesting case study. Neither of those cards I find to be, unfair. Maybe they're pushed past the point they should have been, but we're certainly not talking about Stoneforge Mystics and Snapcaster Mages.
Oh, yeah.
But 2 years of that probably would have been too exhausting, and 18 months is more palatable.
Yeah.
Everything is fun in small doses, but some of the cards end up being powerful, and they end up being powerful for as long as they're legal. So shortening that up a little bit is probably positive on the balance.
This is a spell Skype by Kevin Kelley. We'll head back over to Kassis, who just started things off like it's 1995 with a forest and a Birds of Paradise.
Revised Bird. Kevin Kelley with the spell Skype over in what appears to be the commander zone. Hopefully, we can get that.
You want to slide that up a little bit, maybe? Yeah, like the placement of the spell Skype, I see.
I just don't know what we're doing here, that's all.
Here's a hollow fountain for Ely. He's going to fall down to 17. Again, when you're playing against Infect, you can afford to spend your life a little bit liberally. As now here's a Knight of the Reliquary. Perhaps a turn 3 kill?
Yeah, we saw this yesterday.
Yeah?
And it's not like Infect is flush with creature removal spells or a lot of counter spells or enchantment removal. And Kassis has a mana creature to go along with it. We saw this loop yesterday where he's able to use the Knight of the Reliquary, get a fetch land, which allows him to untap the Knight and the Bird, so he can make a bunch of mana in this iteration. He can tap down any blocker.
All right. Does Kassis, well, he's got Retreat to Korahome in hand.
Yep. I think we're done here. An exciting time.
Yeah, I will say this. If he had a Dismember, Kevin Kelley, I think he would have cast it.
Yeah, it's probably not slow rolling against a Knight that's ready to untap.
All right. Kevin's going to take a look at Retreat to Korahome. So are we. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may tap or untap target creature, or you may scry 1. So the Knight of the Reliquary is going to get really big. But again, the question is, can Kassis actually win the game right now? Because a lot of the time, when you play against this deck, players just put this stuff on the table and they say, okay, you're dead.
Well, he should be good here, I would imagine, because he can get the fetch lands here to start the loop up, generate a lot of mana as he wishes, or he can use the landfall triggers to tap down Kelley's blockers and then attack with the Knight.
Yes, but what if Kelley just says, I want to redirect over to my spell Skype so my Blight Agent gets to block? That's the question, I think.
My man's only got so much life to work with. I mean, it's two a shot.
That's true. That's true. All right, here's Ghost Quarter off of the first Knight activation. And Kassis says, I will untap my Knight of the Reliquary. All right, Knight. Sacrifice a Hallowed Fountain.
Keep in mind that Kassis has still not made his land drop for the turn either.
Very true. Oh, no, no.
I believe that's a Windswept Heath.
Yep. Ely, I believed in you.
Mm-hmm.
And now this.
Now this.
A basic forest. Retreat trigger on the stack. There's one untap here, it looks like. Gonna get him a big die. So now he's gonna float, it appears, a green mana.
So once Kassis is ready to move into combat, or once he has enough mana and he's done everything that he wants to do on that end, he can start using these retreat triggers on the Blighted Agent and force Kelley to either redirect the Spellskite or allow it to be tapped. He can then tap the Spellskite itself and then mosey across for lethal.
Yes. But I'm glad we're getting to see him go through the entire thing. Here's Misty Rainforest. Retreat to SCGORL is going to untap the Knight. And you see, Kassis actually has to be given the green light for all of these, because if he's not, the Spellskite can just say, okay, you're going to untap. Like, he can have the retreat trigger, just untap the Spellskite.
Yep.
So he has to really be pretty careful here, because while he's going through all of this, he is dealing himself damage.
Although that is a bit of a freebie given what his opponent is playing.
Yes, this is true. You never know when that Spellskite's going to rumble across the finish line, though.
And now you see Kassis make the move here with the retreat trigger on the Blighted Agent.
So how about I tap that? Is that okay?
And Kelley has let that go, which means now all this requires him to be able to tap down or otherwise remove the Spellskite, and then the Knight can truck across.
All right, so here's Wooded Foothills. Untap, yes.
Not to call it before it's official, but it will be nice to have Kassis in the top 8.
Yeah, with this little brew. So now he's trying to figure out exactly what land he's going to search for with the Wooded Foothills. Take another point. Going to get a Stomping Ground. Untapped, it appears. Float.
And I believe the die that Kassis has above the Knight of the Reliquary is the number of retreat triggers he has targeting Knight of the Reliquary.
Got it.
On the, he can do all this at instant speed.
Got it.
And he has to track this because of the Spellskite.
Okay. Time to untap. Kassis in the zone here. You can tell this is not the first time he's done this. Now, we've seen him win a Classic a little bit earlier this year with this deck. I think this is the deepest run we've seen in an Open with this deck for him. This is, again, one game away from solidifying a berth into the elimination rounds. Now he says, I'm going to play in Windswept Heath. I will tap creature. And now I think he would like to resolve the untapping. We'll see on a Knight. Apostle's Blessing. How does that screw things up?
I mean, I guess he can set to blue and try to keep the Spellskite up for a turn.
All right. Kassis says, I'm going to respond. I will get I will sacrifice my fetch land. I will get a basic Plains. I would like to tap that. I believe the answer to that is okay.
And so this is interesting. I believe the reason that Kassis led off by getting the Ghost Quarter is so he would always have an opportunity to respond to anything by Ghost Quartering himself to get another landfall trigger and do whatever it is he's trying to do.
Which is pretty smart.
Yeah, that's the insurance policy to make sure he can always reset or reestablish the loop.
Well, there you go. Retreat to Coral Helm and Knight of the Reliquary. Hello.
I think Kelley is tapping out here.
Yeah, he just shook the hand. He extended it. So it looks like Kassis has won this match over Kevin Kelley 2-0. But a lot of the time people just say, I have Knight, I have Retreat to Coral Helm. That's it. And most players go, okay, you win. But I think what's more important there is Kassis has demonstrated that, hey, I know how to work through Spell Skite or any other thing that you may have in an instance like this. And as a result, 12-1